David Felce, Midloe Grange Farm. We are a leaf demonstration farm and have been since 2000, so we've been proud to be working alongside leaf in that time. Yeah, today we're looking at pesticide handling areas and really just trying to look at ways that we might be able to help turn the spray around in more effective fashion to get it back out spraying the products in a timely manner, but also maybe in the same time to try and reduce some of the issues that might come from spilling and splashing products as we're trying to fill the sprayer. I think the first area is to consider is where it's practical to actually be filling the sprayer. Obviously you've got to think about where you store the products. Is the store big enough? Is it accessible? I think, yeah, the main thing now is that the advice seems to have moved away from the hardcore as what was at one time considered best practice, but now probably is much more targeted towards concrete as the preferred filling surface. However, once you go for concrete, you've then got to manage what happens in terms of runoff. Should you spill anything on the concrete, if you can capture it in the most simple form with a spill catcher, that's great, stops it getting on the concrete in the first place. But if you do, or then you move on to other issues like washing down or disposing of washings, then you've got to be mindful of where that water goes, that pesticide contaminated water goes to, which brings us on to looking at some of the options that we have available to us now. If the area can be undercover, that is, the best, because then you completely eliminate the issue of rainwater coming down and washing stuff off before you've cleaned the area. So undercover is brilliant, but obviously not always possible. The first thing I would look at would be the option of putting in a catchment tank. I always look at that as you can then, if you had a major incident, a tank went or a pump went, at the very least you could capture that large amount of runoff, which wouldn't probably be dealt with by a biobed or anything else. Okay, so looking at the siting and layout of the sprayer filling area, the idea would be to try and have as little dead time of walking around fetching things, so the better you can have things to hand. Probably not only minimises the amount of time it takes to fill the sprayer, but it also would help to reduce the amount of potential option for things to be spilt or knocked over. Another thing that might just help with the spraying turnaround time is just a trolley. If your store is situated a little away from where you open the packs and measure the products out. As sprayers have got bigger these days, it's pretty important to have enough water when you get back to the yard. Not much point in having a 3,000 litre sprayer and then filling it with a half-inch hose. So water storage is something that can be part of the equation. Maybe the option for looking at harvesting if you're filling near an area with a large barn roof. Maybe rainwater harvesting might be something to look at there. But in whichever way you do it, having that supply of clean water to turn the spray around effectively obviously is very important. Anything else to do with washing down also might be something to consider at the filling site, whether you need options for washing the sprayer down there as opposed to the other option of washing it in the field is something else to consider at the filling site in the yard.
I'm Joanne Pollock and I'm the Catchment Sensitive Farming Officer for this area. Pesticide handling is very important because pesticides in watercourses have a detrimental effect on the aquatic life and drinking water supplies. So catchment sensitive farming is here to work with farmers to find practical solutions such as an organised pesticide handling area, so that farmers can take voluntary steps to reduce pesticides getting into watercourses. The pesticide handling area in particular is important because overall approximately 40% of pesticides found in watercourses are sourced back to the pesticide handling area. Catchment sensitive farming is working in 80 catchments throughout England, and in these catchments we provide free advice, grants to farmers to help with pesticide solutions.